Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Chris, joined by my brothers, Adam
Hello.
and Eric.
Hello.
We are back in the room once more to give our take on video games. This week, we're coming out of what we like to call the honeymoon period with our brand new consoles. We're obviously all on the PS5, and we've talked about it quite a bunch on this podcast series. And we love our PS5s. Don't get us wrong. It's not that we have anything against the machine, but after a while you're like, yeah, I've played all my old games on it. They all look fine, but what we're wondering right now is where are all the new games? So at time of recording, or at least by the time this comes out, there's a couple of new games and there's some stuff coming. We've got Resident Evil Village. Some people have got Returnal as well, if that's on your radar. And on the way, one of the more exciting games for at least some of us is the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, right? Mm. But that is a remaster of games we've played before.
Yeah, and only on PS4.
And it's a PS4 game. It's not a PS5 game. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Well, and obviously it's on the Xbox as well and PC. Yeah, but it's of last gen. It's not of next gen. So the question is, where are all the games? Because if anyone can remember, and maybe you don't, but when we were talking about the PS5 and the Xbox Series X at Christmas time, we were also talking about how exciting 2021 is because it's a year chock-a-block of games that are coming. Mm-hmm. We were like, holy shit, this is amazing. New console. And not long after, look at all the games that are coming. And so far, very little. In this summer, there's a few coming, but so far, very little. So we're going to talk about the games that we're looking forward to and wondering where they are and give our thoughts on the games that we've been looking forward to so far, but also what we'd like to see from the games that we haven't yet seen and what we hope to get from these games and when we hope to see them. So if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to jump into the comments at any point to give your thoughts on all the games that we bring up and talk about, and maybe some games that we don't talk about that you're particularly excited about yourself. And you can also support us by giving this video a thumbs up, hitting subscribe, and clicking the notification bell so you know when we put out future content. If you're listening on audio platforms, then you can touch base with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take to let us know all your thoughts on the games that we bring up and the games that we don't. Without further ado, let's give our take on all the video games.
All of them.
This is going to be a 10-hour long chat.
Every single game is going to get mentioned in this episode.
Can't wait to get back to the Skyrim chat.
Oh, man. You kidding me? Right. like this year, when we get to November.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. There's going to be so much talk of Skyrim. 10-year anniversary, baby.
Yeah.
10-year anniversary. You know what's coming, guys. Take your shots. Okay. But
I think for the 10-year anniversary of it, right?
Yeah.
Provided that lockdown is after lifting and shit like that, you should come up and play Skyrim VR.
Oh, hell yeah.
It.
For the episode, like.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that. I don't know what the audio version of that would be like, but let's
Danny would love
it. You could listen to us play it.
Yeah. Yeah,
we'd be like,
describe it to you.
Yeah, you can hear just lots of like whoas and wows and way.
Yeah. It looks so real. Skyrim looks just like that.
I was talking to a friend of mine today, Connor Atton, who streams as well. Check out Candor's channel. And we were talking about VR. He'd gotten really into VR not long ago. He's a PC gamer. And I think he had the Quest 2, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a dope headset.
Yeah, he got really into VR. But he was saying that lately he hasn't been playing any because he's like, there's kind of no VR games lately.
Where are the games?
Yeah, it's a similar thing. Like, where are all the games? Now, look at COVID is obviously a huge factor on where these games are. But it's not even that. It's kind of the lack of trailers, even footage.
Yeah, lack of transparency.
Yeah,
it's like being straight up going, look, here's our expected date. Here's why we're not going to meet it. But here's some maybe what we're working on currently.
Yeah, because
like
even concept art for like nothing spoilery, but like here's like a concept art for a location, or like if you take account Horizon, like here's concept art for some tribes people or some buildings and fucking robots and shit like that.
Or even just talk through what I would love to see, because I think, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you want to wait for to see it in person, but like the tech behind it, like what is it about the PS5 or even games that come out on the Xbox Series X? What is it about those two systems that is going to revolutionize the game that it couldn't play on PS4?
Yeah.
Like, that's the shit I'm interested in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, how does it use the actual technology built into the console?
Yeah.
At the moment, by the time this has come out, Returnal is out. Yeah. Right? We're kind of mainly talking from a PS5 perspective only because that's the console that we have. It's the one that we'd be buying games for. But Returnal is out. Is it something that either of you are picking up?
No,
it was never really on my radar either. Like, yeah,
some people seem to be enjoying it, but like it's just okay.
The gameplay did not look fun to me.
No.
It looked like it had kind of interesting designs. To the planet and stuff. And the story looked kind of interesting, but also kind of like that. I don't know if this has kind of been done before. Pretty much in the form of Hades. It's pretty much Hades in concept again.
In space
this time, yeah. With strange gameplay. Like Rezo.
The gameplay kind of reminded me from, like, I think they released like a recent trailer or recent footage which I didn't watch, but the last gameplay stuff they showed kind of reminded me of Mass Effect Andromeda. In the kind of dashing and moving and and much kind of coverage. But I think because it's Rogue style, this looks like it's going to have a really convoluted plot, and I feel like that could get lost.
The plot is supposed to be pretty good for it.
Yeah, people are saying the plot's very good, but what they're saying as well is that it's not very forgiving in terms of like saving or checkpoints.
Right, but that means then like you could almost forget, like, while the plot might be good, you might almost be like, what am I've died so many times now, I don't know what I'm doing, or you're almost losing the plot, I suppose, in the fact that you're constantly dying and going back and going through all that stuff again. Like,
well, I feel like and starting the whole game again.
What? Oh yeah, it is.
It's like Hades. It works like Hades. Except I suppose things kind of change each time or something on the planet. So, but it pretty much it's the same concept as Hades. The other new big game that is out by time this episode is out, but not at time of recording. It's nearly out at time of recording, is Resident Evil Village, which our last episode is all about, giving our first impressions on the demos and stuff and everything that's been teased from that. At time of recording that episode, I did say I was going to buy it, and since then I have pre-ordered it, and by the time this has come out and people are listening to it, I've probably been playing it. So that is what I'm looking forward to. I'm pretty sure you guys said you were looking to pick it up at some point as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just ones for, when things quiet down a bit for me.
Yeah,
definitely. So I have that to look forward to.
Yes.
But yeah, it's weird about that. What I think is weird about that game is I would say the biggest game coming out this year. But
well, it might
feel like it.
It might be. That's the thing.
Well, in terms of like
what we know about, like
the name, like, it's probably the biggest franchise game. Yeah, that we know of. Yes, like, cause we don't know what's coming out at the end of the year. Like, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like there's not that much hype around it, or it's not being advertised.
Oh, I don't know.
As much
maybe
as I expected to.
Maybe I'm following a whole different chain there, because I feel like I was about to say, I think they've marketed it really, really well.
I think they have, but I haven't seen much like from PlayStation side of things, them advertising it. I haven't seen much trailers from PlayStation.
That's probably because it's not a Sony Studios game. Do you know that way?
No,
where
it's not. But I remember them like advertise, like, because they have not exclusivity, but they did with the demos. I guess there's some form of partnership there with Sony anyway.
Yeah.
And they had it with 7 then, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel it's a bit quiet.
Right.
Quiet.
Yeah. Is the next obviously, and then we have Mass Effect: The Legendary Edition around the corner, which I'm also very excited for. But it's not like it can't really surprise me because I've played them before. I know they've kind of slightly revamped the gameplay, I think, in Mass Effect 1. So I'm really looking forward to playing that one because that one was always the hardest one to play for me. Like the characters and the story was interesting, but it was so clunky to play. Even at the time it came out, I felt.
Well, it's the buggy, really, isn't it? That's just brutal.
So it really was. That thing was horrible. It's like, get to that mission. It's like, I'd love to, but you're making me drive that buggy from hell. Jesus.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to playing that, definitely. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because the next game I'm looking forward to is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. And in a similar way, though, it's like, yes, I'm looking forward to the updated features. And I know there's a DLC, which is new content, but ultimately, it's a game I've played before.
Yeah.
And it's another big game coming this year. Where are all the games?
Yeah, see, it's just think about these kind of console transitions, because we were in the same position with previous gen.
With the PS4,
yeah. We're like, where are these games obviously? But it takes a while to build these games for a new system. But PS5 is so similar that you expect games to be made a little bit quicker. But I just think games in general are just taking longer to make.
Yeah, there seem to be.
But I mean, there was a lot of indie games that came up for PS4. Is there many indie games for PS5?
Yeah, there actually is. Yeah.
There is.
Yeah,
okay.
If you go onto the store, there are a load of PS5 games that you couldn't get on PS4. But it's not that those games aren't good or or even impressive, but it's not what you buy the system for, I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, not particularly.
It's like they are great, and it's great to have them there.
Mm.
But there's absolutely no reason that some of them... there's no reason Bugsnax couldn't play on PS4. There just isn't.
No. And I certainly would not buy a PS5 for Bugsnax.
No.
It's not a console seller, in my opinion.
Did you play more of that, actually? I remember you were playing that on Bugsnax.
You were loving the shit out of that.
Yeah. I played a bug load.
Hey!
I nearly cleared it, I think. Yeah, I nearly cleared it.
Oh man, you're so close. You should finish it.
Yeah. Is there a
twist? Ending is supposed to be very dark.
Is it?
Someone told me the ending is really dark. Unexpectedly dark for what the game was.
Yeah, it's pretty shit game.
How would you nearly cleared it then? I don't know if
I didn't really have anything else to play.
Well, I
was finished Miles Morales at the time.
Yeah,
and
that was great.
It was
that was
free
really
with PS Plus, wasn't it? So it's grand.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
You're not gonna complain then, are you?
No, I suppose not.
But the only reason I didn't clear it is because I think I was maybe 20 bugs away or something like that from collecting all of them. So if I just collect them all, I could be the very best.
No one ever was.
And if I clear it, then I get a platinum. So
happy days.
I might do that.
Yeah. You're just doing it for bragging rights, aren't you? Yes.
What, the platinum?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not for fun, is it? It's not for enjoyment.
I love getting platinums. Yeah. Well, only when they're collectible
super easy
shit.
Yeah.
When it's running around and because you see new locations, and it's whether it's collecting artifacts or collecting letters or feathers from Assassin's Creed 2 or whatever. I really enjoy that kind of stuff. But
those feathers can go fuck themselves.
If it's Doom, where it's was it Wolfenstein? One of the Wolfensteins is complete the full game on the hardest difficulty, but if you die once, you have to start again the whole game.
Fucking hell!
I was that's not fun. There's nothing fun about that.
That's
hard.
All
right. So Demon Souls Remake has fucking easier trophies than that.
Yeah,
I have I'm.
Yeah, no, it's a brutal trophy.
45% of the way through the trophies. There's I have 28 out of 37 or something trophies.
All right.
Nice.
So I've been getting a few. Those games, even if you find them hard, right? And we have fucking no other games coming out. It does keep you busy. because it's such an explorative game. Each area has like layers and layers, and there's lots of different hidden secrets, and there's always like side quests and stuff. Like characters actually have side quests, and there's like hidden weapons you can get, and like like I've recently today actually I upgraded a sword I had to a certain point where if I used a demon soul on it, I transformed it into a completely different weapon and stuff.
Cool.
Like so there's always that sort of stuff to those games, so it does make them very, very repetitive, very fun to play.
Yeah.
But when you don't know how to play it, fuck me, is it a bastard to play.
I'm really surprised that they haven't announced a Bloodborne 2.
I think there was rumors of it, but at the moment they're working on Elden Ring, whenever the hell that's going to be released.
They're guys working on Elden Ring.
Well, no.
Yeah, is that still going? I thought that got cancelled.
See, there's another where are these games? Okay, so I think like it was really kind of worrying to me. With some games we've been told are delayed. And that's fair enough. And there's good reasons why. Gotham Knights is one I was looking forward to. It's been delayed to next year. I was like, oh, bummer. But at the same time, you get stories like Cyberpunk and you go, no, if that's what it needs, rather than rushing a game out, then do that. Hogwarts Legacy was another one. I was kind of looking forward to that too. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan myself, but I thought it'd be fun to play with herself. So she was bummed out when that was delayed because she was like, I've never been excited for a game except that one. So that was a bit disappointing, but okay, it's coming next year. The ones where I'm like, you have to give us a bit of information, guys.
It's just
Horizon,
to be transparent.
Horizon 2, and God of War.
Yeah,
which are supposedly coming this year, and nothing's been said about them yet. Nothing's been shown about them since those little reveals. April State of Play. What the hell? I was expecting to see. I wasn't expecting God of War because I still don't think that's coming this year. I was expecting to see something of Horizon.
I wasn't really expecting anything other than just a few more games. Right.
Yeah, it was just a Ratchet and Clank showcase, right?
Yeah, I mean, can you even count the two games at the front of that front
show
end?
Beforehand?
Okay, they showed.
It was DLC for Subnautica, wasn't it?
It was the Subnautica Sub-Zero thing.
I think that's the actual sequel to Subnautica, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a DLC.
I thought it was a sequel because I know a friend of mine was saying, "Oh, the next Subnautica is coming out."
Okay.
Unless it's done in unless he meant an expansion or something. But I thought he was talking about an actual full sequel.
It's just because the way they kind of worded it was that if you own Subnautica,
oh, you're right. You
get it.
Get to download it.
Yeah. So that's why I thought it was
You might be right.
Like a Frozen Wilds style expansion. Not like a small thing. Yeah.
It could be that. And then the other announcement was Among Us is coming to the PlayStation.
Yeah, so you can't really that's not like
that's not it's not a new game.
Yeah.
Well, I actually just for a second there, right?
To be honest, I was more surprised to hear that it wasn't. When I seen that, I was like, when I seen Among Us is coming to PS4, I was like, oh yeah, it's not on.
Yeah,
PS4.
yeah, right.
That's weird that it's not.
That announcement is less of a woohoo and more of a no shit like.
Yeah, like
isn't it? It's like,
isn't it? Bring it to console. Yeah,
surely it's on everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we've all played Among Us, right?
Yeah.
No, I've never played it. But
you've never played it?
No.
I'm trying to figure out what are the actual it is a no-brainer to me that it'd be on the PlayStation, but at this point and announcing that, I'm like, what difference does it make? Because it's on phones and everyone has a phone, and everyone who has played it has pretty much played it on their phone. I'm like, what could the console do for it that everything else that it's on hasn't already done?
Makes it easier to play.
I would say
easy to play, like.
Well, it'd be interesting to see. Do you have to pay for it? Because it's free on phone. I think that's the nice thing about it being on phone is that you don't have to pay for it. But
that is interesting, actually.
I'm wondering if it's a nice barrier to entry for people who want to stream it, who wants to Twitch stream it and stuff like that. Because,
all right,
the biggest, I suppose, not the biggest player base of it, but where it gets more screen time is with the PC gamers Twitch streaming it.
Mm-hmm.
And getting that type of setup, like, that does cost a bit to be able to do that. But if you just have a console, it's quite easy to get into streaming.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's the appeal. They think that maybe they'll get more people.
I saw as well, didn't they? They had like a Ratchet and Clank skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're obviously going to have like PlayStation exclusive skins for the PlayStation version, maybe.
Which would be cool. Like if they keep adding to that.
Yeah, like maybe add in like, Ghost of Tsushima. That you're gonna have like the hats or whatever, the mask or and Aloy.
Don't say that. You'll make me want to get Among Us for PlayStation.
I saw it. I was like, I'll get Among Us for PlayStation. I don't think it's a thing to get excited about a state of play, but
that was more just an advertisement for really just next is Ratchet and Clank because it ends on Ratchet and Clank and
yeah. And then the rest of the presentation was Ratchet and Clank, which I put out a tweet afterwards. I was like, if I was a Ratchet and Clank fan, that looks incredible. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, it looks like a
good fun game.
Like going back to our episode where we were talking about graphics and the importance of it, like that is a good showcase of it. Like that, it looks like a Pixar style movie or something like that. Just the visuals are stunning.
Yeah,
and it takes good use of the hardware. Like they actually do explain in that, like, well, why they would need a PS5 to make a game like this. That they couldn't physically build this for PS4. It'd be a completely different game.
Yeah, I do think that because there was a lot of gaps in between the talking. I do feel that it didn't need to be 15 minutes long.
Oh fuck no! No.
and it could still be as exciting, and you could still get all the information that was given. But I don't think
7 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Max.
I think Ratchet and Clank might as well have had its own showcase as opposed to state of play. It just said to me, it's like they have nothing else to show right now, do they? Like they have nothing to show from anyone. That's what I got from it. I was like, wow, like cool. But
yeah, it was a bit weird when they went
games.
at the end of it, they were like, "And that's our show." I was like, "That's not a show.
No,
this could easily have just been posted on
YouTube,
PlayStation's YouTube channel."
Yeah. And that's not a dig. And that's not a dig.
The game looks really impressive. Like its fluidity of going from one dimension to the next looks really, really good. Like, but. Yeah, it's just like previous state of plays that we've watched. They've always showed at least like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, it's just weird. Like, I mean, I actually have not seen a state of play where I was like, yeah, this is good.
No, there was one that I thought was fucking brilliant. That we did a whole episode on previously. It was the one where at the end, they ended it with the God of War announcement. They had Horizon shown during it, Resident Evil Village was shown during it, Final Fantasy 16 was shown during it. It was just jam-packed with shit where it was like, holy fuck, next year is going to be crazy. That's another one, actually, Final Fantasy 16. Not that they said it was coming this year, but that more info was coming this year. And it's like, when? When is more info coming? It's just been like months of nothing. Like radio silence almost.
Yeah.
From everyone. It's like, where... And I think that's one of the things that possibly riled some people up the wrong way when The Last of Us Remake was kind of announced as news. As well.
Yeah,
is that the only fucking game news we're getting?
Yeah, as opposed to making a new game.
Yeah, a little bit. But I feel like the Ratchet and Clank showcase at State of Play could have been put up on YouTube in the very same way as that Lost Soul Aside footage was put up and given its own. Which, let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, why wasn't that at State of Play?
Why not?
I don't know. Because it was Sony
backed by Sony, isn't it?
Yeah, he's backed by Sony.
100%. And
one guy.
Yeah, what the hell? I'm not sure that game is getting the limelight it deserves based on what what did you guys think of that? And if anyone hasn't seen it, go check out
amazing.
Lost Soul Aside, 17-minute game. Fucking hell.
No, it was made by one person at first, so I just thought, here's comedy. But it was because I sent it to you, and the message I sent to you is when I sent the link for the video was the sound design is amazing, And it was the clash of the shard-like glass blades just hitting the ground and the sound. So then when I was reading the comments and people were going on about how this was made by one person, I was like, holy fucking shit, that's more impressive than what companies seem to be making. Yeah, it looks incredible.
Well, that's the only thing is like, there's a level of definitely subvert expectations a bit here because, is that a realistic showcase of what that game is going to be like, or is that a very, very fine-tuned trailer essentially, like almost like Killzone 2, when Killzone 2 was shown back at fucking hell, what E3 was that, 2006, 2005, 2006, and it was a pre-rendered trailer, and they were saying that these are the graphics of the PS3, and then the game comes out and it's like, this is nothing like what they showed. And I think they might have done that for Metal Gear Solid 4 as well.
It did,
so so you have to be a little careful here with
no, it's just that they released an English cinematic trailer for it as well.
Yeah.
And they show a lot more of the world and stuff like that.
No, I just mean in terms of that gameplay, because that gameplay looks so goddamn dynamic.
And it could be cherry-picked. That could be a very cherry-picked sequence. Like, it's like if you're going to show off Uncharted 4, you show the sequence where they're driving on the motorbike, and it's like the most cinematic thing ever.
Yeah.
And like, that's not the whole game, but it is in the game. And I feel like this is in the game, but it might not all be, the bit where he's like running and skiing and sliding and like it's all very, very cinematic.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know how much of that is in the player's control.
Yeah.
Versus how much of that is just you sitting there watching that happen. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. But
in saying that, the vibe,
it looks incredible. It really does look incredible.
Is fucking right up my alley. I'm like, Final Fantasy meets Devil May Cry.
Well, that's the kind of Devil May Cry I want.
Right.
That's what everyone's saying as well. They're going Final Fantasy 15 or even 16 with Devil May Cry, like.
Well, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it looks like, was it Noxus? Is that the guy with all the swords?
Yeah, Nox, yeah.
Yeah, it has that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. And as well,
that 13 verses kind of look.
Yeah, and that guy who came down, he was like, the Order are looking for you, whatever. And he had like the white armor and shit. Just reminded me of Devil May Cry 4, when you're Nero and that. What's his name?
Fight Credo, I think his name.
Yeah. He pops down. He's your man's, or your one's brother. Isn't it? Nero's in love with his sister. Whatever. And it just reminded me of that. It reminded me like a Devil May Cry story with like a Final Fantasy aesthetic.
Yeah.
It looks fucking cool.
It looks like, though, there's also a bit of open worldness to it. Now, in those moments that I saw, when he, like, you can kind of jump up and you can make the dragon give you wings, essentially, and fly.
That looked dope.
The map did look a bit flat in the idea of when you were gliding like through the grasslands.
All right.
So like it's not like it. So there are moments where it's a bit like, well, that doesn't look as best as it could be, but because it's one fucking guy.
Well, it's not one guy.
It's not one guy.
No. Well, it started as one guy.
And he
now presented the thing in 2016. I can't remember his name. He's a Chinese developer.
Ying Bing or something like that.
Ying Bing?
Something
like that. Is that his
name? Ying is definitely the first part.
Okay. And Sony were really impressed with it. They backed him up and supported him, and then he had a budget for a team, so set up a small studio. And now I think there's but in saying that, there's only like 29 people working on it. Like it's not like
it still looks
not like 100 developers or anything.
Yeah,
it's really good. It looks great.
Yeah.
I was surprised though that by the time it got to the end of it, there was no like year. I was kind of like, and I watched Maximilian Dude reacted to it because it's right up his alley. Like if you see a game like that, you're like, Maximilian Dude is gonna fucking love this shit. This is like the kind of shit he's into. But even he was saying at the end, he was like, "Where's the date?" I was like waiting for a year, not even a date, a year.
Yeah, what year is coming out? Yeah.
It's kind of weird that it's like there's all these games that we're kind of seeing footage of, but there's no timeline for anything.
Yeah, maybe again following after Cyberpunk, companies are a bit like maybe.
Well, I imagine COVID is probably like making things a bit like unrealistic
yeah,
to try and predict a date, I guess.
Oh
or
yeah,
even plan for a date.
but it's not even. You're not even looking for a specific date. Like there was a point where if a game was announced, you got a specific date, right? Years ago. Then what happened was you'd get a month. Then what was happening is you'd get a season. Now the norm is you get a year. You get like it's coming in 2021. We don't know when, or it's coming 2022, definitely next year, right?
And now the norm is you don't get anything.
Yeah, now you just get nothing. It's just like this game, it'll come, okay? Just fucking wait. But that's not the only Chinese game actually that's gotten a lot of attraction this year. The other one is Black Myth, Wukong.
Yeah, Wukong.
Is there any indication as to when that's coming? That also looks fantastic.
I don't think so. I don't think there was ever a date with that either. Or was there at the end of the second one?
Because I always think you don't show gameplay until it's nearly ready. Am I wrong?
Well, it's hard to know what way, like, because it's similar to that other one, isn't it? About the Monkey King. What's that one called?
That's the one I'm talking about. Black Myth.
Well, that's the one you're talking
Black
about.
Myth.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Is the other game was it Black Desert then or something?
Oh,
like
Crimson
Desert.
Crimson
Right.
Desert.
Is that Chinese as well, or is that Japanese studio?
I thought that was a Korean studio. That one.
Korean studio. All right. But like with, how often do you hear of a game coming from a Chinese developer?
I know it's really. It's kind of exciting.
It's really exciting, and I imagine there's probably a bunch of upcoming devs coming from China.
Yeah.
But it's hard to know like what's their procedures in getting games made, like outsourcing to external companies, try to get funding to bring them to their platform, etc. So the way they might pitch a game might be a little bit different. Like, normally you get a trailer when the game's nearly or somewhat coming to some form of completion, or they are starting to tidy up systems so that it's like they have a very clear idea of how long it's going to take to get it to shipping. However, that procedure might be a little bit different in China. In China, it might be, we just want the pitch, and that pitch has to look like a fucking finished game. But then you also have another 9 years to complete it or something. Like, it's hard to know what way they work.
So apparently, I just looked up here the Black Myth game. Its initial release date, from what I'm reading here, is 2023.
Holy shit!
Wow!
Wow! What the fuck?
That looks like really good as well.
That's amazing.
So it has more work to be done.
Oh man, I was kind of excited about that one. That's so far away.
What was another game you were? I'm just kind of research.
Well, see if like Lost Soul aside, has there been anything on that that maybe it just wasn't at the end?
Yeah, the pity about some of these too is that like these type of games, if they launched now, right? Obviously, if it's not coming out till 2023, then obviously it's nowhere near completion. But if it was something that they were able to launch now, there's nothing in the way to kind of steal the light from it, like, so people could have an actual chance to play them. By 23 it's probably going up against
The Last of Us Part 3
and fucking whatever, all kinds of games coming out. It mightn't do as well, unfortunately.
That can happen. Like, it's going to be really interesting at the end of this year what games end up like up there for like games of the year and stuff. It's just got to be really interesting given how many games have kind of shifted to next year. Anything on Lost Soul side, Eric?
Not that I'm seeing.
Okay, I'd say that's far off as well. I don't think that's. I don't think it's coming
25.
This year.
2025.
2026.
What was there was a third game he's asked for as well.
Crimson Desert.
And
I believe it's
that
studio. Maybe that'll come up.
That looks fantastic, actually. Wow, my God! This is saying initial release date is obviously subject to change due to the way games work. 2021.
Holy shit! Really? I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening here. Crimson Desert.
I also don't think
open world action adventure like Pearl Abyss. Initial release date is 2021.
I also don't think that game will look like what was presented to us. It looked too
I
good
don't
to
think
be
so either.
true.
I hope so.
It might
but
actually
yes.
come out though, because like, you know, the end of the year, this is quite a long way away.
I know.
We still are kind of towards the beginning end of 21, so
We are.
because remember that wasn't that year that Fallout 4 was announced? Wasn't that like pretty much it was announced in the summer? And they were like, oh, and it's coming out. And it's like the first footage that people saw of it. And it's like, oh, and it's coming out in 3 months' time or something.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Yeah, it's like we're gonna just drop this on you now.
Yeah.
That can be very exciting as well. But I'm really surprised at this point that we haven't seen more of Horizon.
Considering we have a full.
That's the weird one. Not the God of War. I'm not surprised. Don't make me say it again, folks. It's not coming out this year. But Horizon, I believe, still is coming this year. Or at least, I did believe.
It could have easily. Yeah.
Now I'm not as confident. Now I'm like, wait, but like, and I'm not saying we need like even a release date yet. But we definitely need to see a second trailer. Or...
Yeah, like if it was coming out this year, that would mean that there was gameplay being worked on, you know, like
100%.
It would really suck when this episode releases if during the week like there's like footage for Horizon.
Hey, you know what? And if there is, then great, and I'll be so happy. And I hope there is.
I'd imagine it'd be if it's coming out this year, it'd be a Christmas game, I'd reckon.
Right, which would mean, right? Wouldn't that just confirm to you that God of War isn't coming?
Yeah, but
because they are not going to put God of War and Horizon against each other. They were probably aiming. Oh, if Horizon was like our big summer game, God of War can be our big Christmas game originally.
Yeah,
they're not going to put the two of them up against each other because they're like, well, those two are big kind of contenders.
Well, they might, you know, because like you don't really care if your own game is eaten into your game sales. You care if someone else's game is.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, yeah, they're both Sony games, aren't they?
Yeah. Either way, it's like it gets. I'm sure the money gets distributed across studios equally.
Yeah.
In some fashion.
Possible.
So they probably don't mind.
What do you hope to see from a Horizon sequel?
That's the thing. I can't think of like other than improvements to the melee combat and stuff like that, because I did feel that Horizon's not a fun game to play. I didn't feel that the gameplay itself is that good. So taking cues from like Ghost of Tsushima a little bit, so that the combat feels great.
You feel like a hunter.
I don't know what else you could do. Like obviously there's other areas that they could explore. Like Frozen Wilds showed a whole new area. And so they could add way more to the map, or bring us. Well, we are going to a new area, aren't we?
The Forbidden West.
So that'll change things up a bit, but I don't really know what they could do. I don't think graphically it's going to be that much different, if I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to be the same game engine. I think this is going to be one of those games like Miles Morales, where it's like it'll probably come out on PS4 as well.
Yeah, it might do. Eric, what do you hope to see from it?
Better melee combat. Because that game was fucking amazing. So good.
Oh, well, the world is fascinating. The world is absolutely fascinating.
It'd be interesting to see what other sort of, like what it'd be kind of cool, because they were sort of delving into it with the idea of like doing some side quests and interacting with some of the characters, sort of shifted the story slightly. But if they could do that more, where you almost could affect a city, you know, like you save in. So getting inside spoilers with the first one, when you save the prince, the young king of the Karja tribe, Shadow Karja tribe.
Yeah.
And there was almost no repercussions to that. There was almost, you did it and that was sort of it. And it was cool. It's cool doing it. That area is really cool. The characters of people are really cool. The history between all those tribes is very interesting. How they intertwine with each other. So it'd be kind of interesting with the Forbidden West, considering she's now going out somewhere she's never been before, and she's not really going to be backed by anybody. That she can see that her choices can be good or bad, depending on what you choose. Because you have those dialogue choices,
right?
That don't
They're not repercussions.
There's no repercussions. It's just a bunch of questions. You just become a very inquisitive. Like you become like a Hermione Granger person. Just answer those questions.
Nice to actually see people in the world too, wouldn't it?
Outside of the cities, like other hunters and stuff like that.
Well, anyway, and just like, I mean, are they only confined to those cities? Like, must be people going outside.
Yeah,
traveling.
That'd be interesting.
I really hope to see a similarity to Ghost of Tsushima in terms of side missions, that they are easy to find, easy to access, and also really engaging. Where it's like there's like a little mini story that has phases to it.
Yeah.
Get to the end of a phase, or like or even some of the longer side quests from Ghost of Tsushima that would have a character who has this like ongoing revenge plot or whatever it is, and then it has a conclusion throughout the game. I loved that shit, and I thought that would be really stuff like that would work really well in Aloy's case, where she meets characters that have their own struggles in that world. Gameplay could definitely do improvements. I 100% agree there. And since we're only talking about like our hopes, obviously I do believe it's also coming to PS4. But a hope of mine, not that I'm trying to rob it up people, but I would love to see haptic feedback used. I would love to see that, especially it looks like there's a lot of environments, and I think that's a good opportunity to use.
Just having it with the bow.
Oh yeah,
feeling the drawback with that bow would be
like great. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of it in it, but it's just like the difference between having a little bit of
full on. You want it like the fucking Astrobot, like you want to feel the sand.
I can't wait to play my first game that's like Astro's Playroom, but the whole way through that's like a real action-based game. I can't wait to feel what that's like, and I don't know if that's going to happen in our first year of PS5. It probably not, but I really can't wait to see what that actually feels like. It's great in Astro's Playroom, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, because there's huge potential of it. Like apart from just being it, just enhancing the experience, but you could do things like like if it was like the Frozen Wilds, for example, and you're walking across a frozen lake.
Yeah,
it would be the feel of the ice cracking under the feet. You could feel it in the controller if it's getting too intense, and that would be able to determine what direction you walk in and stuff like that. So there's functional things you can do there to the extent of like if Kojima had his hands on that controller.
Oh man.
He would turn that controller into a car.
Do you think he'll do a Death Stranding 2?
I think
because Death Stranding was very about the environment, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the way it ends, I think, is just pretty one-off kind of a thing.
Bit definitive, is it?
I felt it was. I couldn't see how they could possibly do a second.
I could see how they do a second, but also it's almost like, to me, it almost more like The Last of Us. It's like if they left it alone, there's nothing wrong with that. But I could also see that there is room to make more. But if they are going to do that,
I don't know. It's the way it ends, like it's a bit like Inception, right?
Right. If you make a second one, do you ruin the ending of the first one?
Well, you would have to kind of undo quite a lot just to get a fucking sequel going. I felt.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think they could do a sequel.
You don't seem to agree, Eric.
I thought I heard rumors that there was in talks of something.
Possibly.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, speaking of rumors and talks and Kojima, I mean, this one is not a case of, when are we getting it? This is just a case of, when are they announcing it?
Yeah,
when are they announcing Metal Gear Solid Remake? Like, at this point, it's not a rumor. It's like everyone is talking about it. Everyone has reported it. It's like they've even like dropped Blue Points Games as like the people who are doing it. Like, just when he announced it, come on, stop jerking us around and fucking tell us when. We just want to know. We want something to be excited about. Would you still like to see a Metal Gear Solid remake?
Yeah, but all they'll do is they'll make it episodic, and the first game is the that area you first enter.
Yeah, just the
and
first
it ends
one
with the
is
elevator.
Gets the elevator. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it ends.
That's where it ends, and you have to wait another month for the next part.
No. It's all years like. It's actually gonna be a 24-hour section, like.
Yeah. They take inspiration from the Save Merrill or Save Otacon. They're like, that was the most important feature of the original game, so why don't we make this new one like a Telltale game? And it's just a click and point, choice based.
Be interesting to see how they'll go about remaking it, because how do you because you're gonna have to change quite a bit in it just to get it functioning in a modern context.
But I remember you saying that the Twin Snakes, as awesome as like a retelling as it is, in terms of gameplay,
it breaks
the game.
Yeah.
Right? Because it takes the modern gameplay MGS2 but applies it to a game that wasn't built for that gameplay.
Yeah.
Like the Ocelot fight or the Vulcan Raven fight or that kind of thing, right?
Yep.
So how do you think they could do gameplay, or what would you like to see from the gameplay in a modern context or in a modern setting?
Yeah, it's weird. Like I think, like, normally you would think that, okay, so the obvious direction would be to take the Phantom Pain style gameplay and apply it to the Shadow Moses, but I don't think that's going to work at all.
No,
I don't think that's a good direction. I think they need to go right back to the roots, and I actually think Metal Gear Solid is probably not the one to remake. I think Metal Gear is the one to remake, and you would eventually get to you'd fine tune the formula, and you would eventually get to Metal Gear Solid.
I would actually agree with that.
Metal Gear is so, there's a lot you can do with it to basically make a whole new game.
Yeah, but you can
it's the same context, same characters,
add new shit. Totally add new shit. Yeah.
But with Metal Gear Solid, is you don't want to change it so much that it ruins it. So they're gonna have to go similar to Capcom with the Resident Evil games a bit, where it's like, this feels familiar, but it's different.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, like, I think you need to kind of capture the feeling of a modern game, but also the feeling of retro, of like feeling like a PlayStation 1 game. Because I felt that throughout Ori 2 Remake, it feels like a PS1 game in terms of like the level layout and stuff, even though it's modern graphics and modern lighting and it plays like a modern game, but it feels like it's designed like a PS1 game.
Well, I think there's going to have to be a huge consequence to if you actually use your weapons, for example. I think they need to actually
focus on stealth rather than action.
Yeah, like big time. So maybe take a little bit of inspiration from The Last of Us, a little bit there, in the way you have to kind of scout a bit just to see the patterns of your enemy and figure out what direction to go, and perhaps there are ways to distract enemies to go one way over the other. And you could shoot, but it's like, unless you have the end game style weaponry, you're probably
like
not
silencer and stuff.
You're not going to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would have to work to get the silencer to clear out this area. So
yeah.
Now this area is easy, but the next area onwards, it's just not good enough or whatever, because maybe there's not enough handgun ammo or something, or because obviously, like, when you get past the ice field where you fight Raven in the tank, you've got an area where you can't use weaponry.
That's right. That's because of the nuclear warheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if they just focus on the stealth, I think they need to abandon the Phantom Pain style gameplay altogether, and go full on stealth.
Maybe look at Last of Us and Splinter Cell then. Splinter Cell's renowned as being a stealth spy game.
The earlier Splinter Cells, though.
Yeah. Where being loud is a death sentence, essentially. Like, if you go loud, all the enemies are gonna fuck you up, and like, you're just as easy to kill as they are, essentially.
But I kind of wonder, in terms of camera angle, if they should go over shoulder. I'm trying to think of what the modern version of it, because the original one, it's kind of top down.
It is, yeah.
and you can only see a certain amount, right? With that, but when you make a full 3D thing, I would agree. I think the Phantom Pain is absolutely the wrong way to remake MGS1. I think you will totally lose the magic of what it is. I think you need to make a game where you are relying on that radar.
Yeah.
To get by.
Yeah. So, they might need to redesign.
Make it feel, modern. Make it feel new.
Yeah, I think they could still do it with like an over-shoulder view, just to bring it into a modern setting a bit. But they might need to redesign Shadow Moses a bit, so that there are more pillars, there's more walls, so that there is no line of sight really with people. So you will also, you'd have to rely on the radar for that.
Yeah. Well, mate, what do you do about the script, man? Oh my god.
Oh, you don't touch it. You don't touch the script.
Are you kidding me? They're not Actually, I saw an interview with David Hayter. And again, this is something that because of the way we record, maybe something about MGS will come out in the meantime, and if it has, fucking fantastic. But it probably hasn't. But I did see an interview with David Hayter, and he was asked about the Metal Gear Solid remake rumor, and he was like, I'm pretty sure at this point that's not a rumor. I'm pretty sure at this point that's like there's enough people who work in the industry that have talked about that. He's like, but I'm not saying anything. He's like, I'm not involved. I'm not saying that. It's just that so many people have talked about it. And then the guy was asking, I was like, what would they do about the recordings? Would you be happy with them to use your recordings? And he was like, well, they can't. They can't. And at first I thought he was talking about from a logistics or legal point of view, but it wasn't that at all. He was like, for the for the first MGS, they literally recorded in a living room. And because of the processor or whatever on the PS1, it's fine. But even if you had brought that over to a newer console, you can hear traffic in the background and stuff. There's nothing.
That's great.
Yeah, it's the sound is awful. Apparently, for that, if you put it into a high resolution, that's why they re-recorded everything for Twin Snakes, because they couldn't use when they brought it to the GameCube. They could not use the PS1 audio. And then he said, and now even at that, with the one from Twin Snakes, even if you tried to port that, it's I'm not sure that would be suitable for today's consoles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I wonder, would they re-record all the lines faithfully, or would they do a rewrite?
Oh, they might rewrite a little bit, but just to kind of keep within the spirit of things. But they might want to. I would say they would want to maybe speed up a little bit, where they could scatter story points throughout the game, as opposed to killing someone and have them tell you everything. I think they could probably tell that story in another way.
Yeah.
It could be documentation that you pick up, or you're listening on comms.
Yeah, you want to go up to fucking Arms Tech, right? And he's fucking Kenneth Baker, and he starts giving you an hour-long monologue, and then it cuts away and it shows the live-action footage of all the fucking nuclear waste.
I have a feeling that they're gonna do a cut version of all of that. I do feel like they will restructure the story slightly and cut down some of the stuff that they're nowadays no one's gonna sit back and watch all this. Even some of the codec calls might happen while you're walking or while you're moving. In a similar way to in the Arkham games where Batman puts his hand on the ear. It might maybe a projection will come up of the person in your corner of the screen, but you are moving. Because it's not normal now to put down a controller for a very long cutscene. Whereas at one point that was your favorite part. You're like, I've been playing this game to earn this.
Yeah.
But that's just not the way they're made now.
Yeah, I think they would need to imagine structuring Shadow Moses the way Arkham Asylum was as well. They could really expand it, make it bigger, and there's more areas and coming back. And man, I'm excited now.
Yeah, and in terms of but in terms of modern games, because nowadays side content is very important in a game. You could have little rooms where you can access VR missions, right? You
could, yeah.
It wouldn't matter. It doesn't affect the story. And in the VR mission, it could put you in a totally different scenario with a little objective, and you can complete. And then maybe in the main menu, there's a section where you can just access the VR missions that's outside of the main map or whatever. That's a great way of doing side content that feels true to the original game as well. VR missions was a big part of some of the earlier MGS games. But I can't wait to see what the fuck they do with Cyborg Ninja in every. Are you kidding me? Oh my god! Just announce it, please. Please announce it. I hope it's real. I really do. I hope it's not just a huge, big, bogus thing that everyone kind of latched on.
Because would you say they get all the same voice actors?
I'd say they'll try and get as many as they can.
Yeah, I think they'll get some of them, but not all of them. I think they'll feel like it's important to have David Hayter and Cam Clark, for example, to reprise their roles. I think they would get Patrick Zimmerman, and I think they would get
They would get Jennifer Hale,
the guy who played Otacon, and Jennifer Hale.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll feel as passionately about everyone though.
Yeah. What?
Right? Like Psycho Mantis is two different people. Like it's not the same guy in Twin Snakes, for example, as
I think
MGS1.
Raven isn't either.
No, and Raven doesn't.
And actually, Ocelot isn't. I don't think.
Ocelot wasn't. No. It's been Patrick Zimmerman ever since MGS2, but it was a different guy in MGS1.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I'd be like, you gotta get Zimmerman.
Yes.
Yeah, they'd probably get Paul Edding back then for.
Oh yeah,
sorry,
Campbell. You'd have to get Colonel.
Yeah. Like when you said they probably wouldn't bother everyone else, I was like,
so we actually just named everyone that's returning. The only people that's probably not returning cast is like Natasha Romanenko and possibly Jim Houseman.
Do you know what? I would love to see in a remake more of that side of things. Because
you could see a lot of like them on the sub. You know, on the submarine, given the drama behind it, all the stuff,
all the political shit that's going on. Because like when you get to the end of it,
there'll be a bit where you have to play as Mei Ling.
That'd be so good. Are you kidding me? I'd love that. But like you could totally miss. I remember like when I was younger, I had no idea who Jim Hesman was. I just remember seeing his picture in the little book. Yeah. That's one codec call that pretty much explains that he's kind of behind he's like behind the plot. Like he's pivotal to the story. He's way more important to the story than Vulcan Raven is even.
Yeah.
But he's one codec call. So he's a character that could be expanded on more.
But you can also imagine a lot of like side quests, like with Natasha, for example. Because a lot of stuff was, if you're in a specific area, you ring her up and she'll give you info. But you can imagine it could be like, while you're there, we have intel that we need, whatever, and then you have to collect shit specifically for her. So there'd be like different codecs that you ring just to get different side missions. Like
that would actually be cool.
Taking pictures of the ghosts around Shadow Moses, for example.
Oh man, imagine. That'd be fucking great.
It's like the bunch of otakus for Otacon.
No, you have to shoot otakus around the...
Or you get to play...
I don't know what they're called.
What would be really fucking cool is when you get into Otacon's lab...
You get to play the PS1.
You get to play the PS1, which is just the open
original
level
MGS.
of the original MGS1.
That would be fucking superb. Blue Point, or whoever is making this, if you're listening, make that happen. Oh man, that'd be so good. I'd lose my mind. Can you imagine what the reorchestration of the score would be like? I would hope that they would... no, but I would... Honestly, I hope that they would approach it in the same way as the guys who approached Final Fantasy VII Remake. Where it's like, you recognize the music, but it has been updated and rescored, reorchestrated, sometimes restructured, but in a cool, interesting way. But like, pay the same respect, if you know what I mean, to the original music. Because that score is so good. It's so fucking good.
Would
so
they have to like re-record The Best Is Yet to Come?
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's now the most exciting thing that hasn't been announced. Oh, I want that so bad. Oh, The Best Is Yet to Come. Can you imagine if they just put out a tweet? They put out a date, and they just said The Best Is Yet to Come. Can you imagine how much the world would explode? No, seriously,
Twitter would break.
Twitter would. It'd be like when Kim Kardashian broke the internet. It would be the next that. That's what it would be. Do you know what? Just moving on from Metal Gear Solid, then, and I hope it happens. No, I don't hope it happens. I hope it's happening. I hope they're already happening it. It is happening. But here's a game I was excited for, not on nearly the same level, but I was excited for it. It as a fun co-op game to play with Ash. That was announced last year. It was supposed to come out last year. Then it was delayed, very obviously because of COVID. And there's been nothing on it since. And it's really confusing to me for the kind of game that it is. And with how much of it they had already kind of had ready, I thought.
Right.
And that's Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga.
Oh, the complete yoke, is it?
Yeah. Where the fuck is that game? It's not on the same level or anything like that, but it's confusing to me that is not out yet and that nothing has been said about it since last. Was it like November the last time anyone said anything about it?
I thought that was actually already released. I didn't realize
that was... that was already out.
No, it's not. It's not. I check regularly. But like it's because that game, because speaking of remakes, like that game is a remake
of a remake of a remake.
No, it's a remake of the first two Lego Star Wars games. It's not a port of them. It's a remake of them. And then the new trilogy.
So what was the one that you were looking at on my phone the other day?
What?
You were looking at Lego Star Wars.
Oh, that was the complete saga, which is the first 6 movies.
Oh, I see.
Remember, they released that before Disney had Star Wars, like. So this is going to be.
Oh yeah, because it actually says Warner Brothers on it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, this one is going to be, episode 1 through to 9, but totally remade. And I'm actually more interested in seeing
revisiting 1.
Revisiting 1, 2, and 3 Lego games, but remade. I was like, that sounds great. I hope there's no talking though, but there probably is because they do talking nowadays. Yeah. But like, I couldn't see a reason why that's not at least announced yet with a date.
Yeah.
Like the trailer was like this time last year.
Where are the games?
Where are the games? What is going on? Where's Lego Star? Every single game we talk about in this episode will have been shown and announced by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
I fucking imagine.
Yeah. Maybe we should record a bonus episode just in case, so this episode doesn't seem so silly.
And in a parallel universe, yeah. It's like, and here's we make another one at the same time where we pretend that we've seen all the announcements. And we go, oh yeah, I'm so excited for it. It's finally coming. Look, I've said it on record plenty of times, but do you guys think God of War Ragnarok, as people are calling it, or whatever it's called, do you think is coming this year?
It's coming out next week, man.
Fuck! Deadly! Next week when we're recording or next week when it's out? Time is so confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck, because they said 21, didn't they?
They did. They said 2021.
And I just can't imagine.
Maybe it was actually that they were saying we're going to announce this in 2021.
Maybe.
Maybe it was an announcement teaser for an announcement.
Yeah, hard to tell.
Eric, what do you think?
Haven't a clue. I mean,
I'm asking what you think. I know you don't know. None of us know. What do you think, though?
Well, I'm in regular talks with Corey Barlog, and he's not sharing.
Oh shit! Okay, what's he saying?
Well, I just said that he's not sharing. He's not giving me any details.
Corey, come on, Corey, spill the beans.
I can't.
I love following him on Twitter. I must say, he is great crack.
Yeah,
he's good sport.
I think they could possibly. It's just weird that there's nothing being said so far, but I think it is a possibility that they could release it at the end of this year.
Do you think that maybe they're further along than they've let on and they're being just super fucking secretive about it?
Well, I do, because I don't think the game's actually going to be any different than what came out. I think it's just more of it, and I think it's just less loading. It's less running around the freaking tree until the door loads. It's more instantaneous, and that's the update. I almost feel like, because there was actually a bunch cut out of 2018. And I feel like the stuff that got cut out is going to be this
Make
game.
it into sequel.
And then there's going to be like a little bit extra that they're going to add to it, obviously. But I kind of feel like it's probably not going to take that long to make Ragnarok.
Okay. What do you hope to see from a sequel?
I thought it was a pretty solid game, so I'm just looking for, where's the story taking it? That's really all I'm in for it. And yeah, obviously better loading and stuff like that, and the visuals will be better. Because if you could, if you play on the PS4 Pro, you can kind of switch between either resolution or frame rate, and with PS5 you'll be able to do the two of them at the one time, like, so it's already going to look great. So I'm just looking for more story.
How about you, Eric?
What am I looking forward to? Sure. You know me, when it goes to Norse mythology, fucking slap it all in there. Put Fenrir in there, put Hel in there, put fucking Heimdall in there. Oh my god, that fucking...
What are you even saying?
Playing that first God of War and sort of...
You sound like a
I was
character
you're
from
speaking
Snatch.
double. I was going to say you're speaking absolute double Dutch, but I suppose it's double Norse.
Yeah, double Norse.
Hey, it's a shit joke. Thanks, Chris. Well done.
You get a badge for that.
Yeah. I got a Blue Peters badge.
But like,
I'm gonna write that joke down and I'm gonna put it up on the fridge for all of us to see.
Cool.
But like, kind of forgetting how they do the. Will you guys shut the fuck? Try to tell my story.
What are you trying to say, Eric? Just say it, will you?
I'm speaking
the fuck
very simplistic Dutch.
Okay,
here,
go on.
And you guys keep.
Very simplistic Dutch.
Alright, what are you saying?
So like, forgetting how they do the myths, like they get the myths and they tweak it slightly while staying quite true to it. Like forgetting the greatness of it. So playing that 2018 God of War, and when you're fighting that first god, I'm like, geez, this guy's like, who the fuck is this guy? This guy's kind of cool. And then when he's like talking about how nothing hurts him and he heals, I was like, oh my god, I know who that is. So that's the thing that I'm looking forward to. Is there renditions of all these very famous, iconic characters from Norse mythology?
Yeah.
I mean, like, seeing Hel, like, are they going to... Because Hel has never been in pop culture depicted the way she is described in Norse mythology, which is where half of her face is beautiful and the other half is a decomposing corpse. Right. So, like, it'd be interesting. Are they going to do that? And, yeah, she's two-faced. Is she going to start flipping coins and shit? Are they gonna do that, like, and what's that gonna look like? She has her own hound, she has her own dog that guards the realm of Helheim, and seeing Fenrir, like that sort of stuff, because her designs are incredible and the way they intertwine the mythologies and stuff.
So her hound isn't Fenrir?
No, her hound is not Fenrir.
I think Fenrir should definitely be in the next one, though. Like, what a boss fight that would be. That'd be fucking awesome.
Boss
I'd love
fight
to see
or
that.
companion?
Riding a giant hound.
I don't want to do that. Wasn't that a game mechanic in the original God of War?
Yeah, it's a mini game.
The statue with Fenrir. Stop. Learn to stop. Would it be interesting if you had to like fight it and tame it and then turn it into a companion? It's like you have to like win his respect or something. Then you can have both. You can have your cake and eat it. I'm saying, or you can have your wolf and pet it. You know what I'm saying?
How big is he going to be? Though,
huge.
Because
massive.
Like it's supposed to fight the fucking serpent, no?
No, that's Thor.
Oh, Thor
fights serpent. Odin fights Fenrir, but Fenrir gets fucking huge. He's probably the size of
a bigger
house or something. He starts off as a puppy, and then he gets like the size of a fucking house or something.
I actually can't wait to see what they do with Odin. Because I think Thor is so ingrained in pop culture from many, many things that everyone has a view of what Thor is like and what Thor's... And you do get pigeonholed a little bit in that Thor has to have the hammer. Thor usually has the cape and, the big beard and whatever. Like, there's a certain look to Thor. I think you can be more creative with Odin. Like, I know he's usually missing an eye and he has a raven. Like after that, I think you can really do it.
And a spear
Looks like
and
Santa
a
Claus, man.
like he's
Looks
got one eye. He's got a spear that never misses, which will be fucking interesting.
as a boss mechanic. Imagine that he can't miss you.
Do you obtain it as a weapon?
Yeah, he has a spear called Gungnir that whatever he's throwing at, it will hit it.
Yeah.
So you can't dodge his spear. Unlike Thor's hammer, you can dodge that, the spear you can't. And then he has a 6-legged horse.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Sleipnir, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck, I hope to see that. That'd be fucking great.
Or he wouldn't actually. He wouldn't have the 6-legged horse.
Why not? Why wouldn't he? Why are you doing this to me?
Because Norse mythology time, guys. Because Loki turned into a horse.
Yeah, but they're clearly not following.
Yeah, but surely they have like creative liberties there. They could.
Yeah.
Well, they could, but they still have that Jormungandr in God of War came back in time, so they still have that idea that Loki can still make Jormungandr later. So actually, so if they're still following that mythology, they actually you wouldn't be able to have Fenrir or Hela either.
I think they'll take some creative liberties there, though. I really do.
Yeah,
they already have, if you know what I mean. I'm curious about with this second game. I feel like that there's more focus on the story, and I think Corey is going to want a talking point in this story. I feel like that mural, spoilers for God of War 2018, but that mural that Kratos sees at the end, it would seem that that's the end of a trilogy, and I don't think it is. I think that's going to play into the second game. We might be playing...
It's a Danny, I'm just looking...
Confused
at the moment.
You're like, I don't want to play as an older Atreus.
I'm just trying to fucking remember what was on the mural.
Well, it was.
I can't remember what the mural.
Sorry, it was suggestive of. It looked like Atreus. Like most of them, it showed their journey, right? Mm-hmm. And there's one mural that Kratos noticed, kind of under a bit of curtain that blew up, that Atreus did not get to see, but Kratos saw it.
Yeah.
And it looked like him dying in Atreus's arms. That obviously had not come to fruition yet. I feel like, well, it looked like Kratos. It's not totally clear. It's a bearded man who's bald, but I don't think it had the red lines on it. So there was a bit of it's like, is that Kratos or is it someone else? And I think whatever that is, I think that's going to play into the next game, not the third one, because it's probably a trilogy.
Probably.
Because I think they're not going to be able to just end this game without a big talking point. It's going to need it. Or at least I think they'll feel like it needs it to kind of leave you hanging for the third one.
I wonder what the big challenges are going to be, because you've just killed all the Valkyries, didn't you?
Well, there's Norse mythology, man. There's 9 worlds worth of fucking challenges. Like,
tell us more, Eric. Tell us more.
Well, yeah, there is, but like you've already done trials on Muspelheim.
Yeah, but you still haven't fought Surtur, the fire giant.
Yeah, I know, but as a thing, like the thing is with the Valkyries.
Oh, do you mean like side challenges?
Yeah, going around and it's like an optional challenge and bosses to fight. You know,
that's
Are there more Valkyries?
Possibly. Maybe there'll be like optional Norse gods from the Pantheon that you don't have to fight, but you can go take them on if you want to.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's loads, right? Or giants, like other types of giants.
It would be nice to see more, like similar to what I was saying about Horizon, like just more people, you know,
in that world. Yeah, it feels barren and
empty. It was constantly empty.
That'd be interesting.
It would have made more sense to have them in the first one than this one because of Ragnarok. But again,
have they started that yet?
Well, it is the start of it, though, isn't it? Like it looks like it'll be a slow burn, but
I felt like it's like they've initiated a path that leads to.
That's a thing they could do, though.
But when does the end begin?
Fuck.
The second one is called, let's say, Ragnarok, or definitely is like in the middle of Ragnarok. It could be, instead of fighting the Valkyries, you're fighting heroes of old from Valhalla.
Man,
that Odin has summoned out, like, to specifically kill you and Atreus. So he's calling on the heroes of old to hunt you down and kill you. So therefore,
that
you're
would
fighting
be really cool.
places.
Actually, that would be really cool. It'd be like sort of a bounty on you as a character. That'd be fucking awesome. Getting hunted by. I'm not as familiar with Norse mythology, so I don't know like the names of the classic heroes and all, but they obviously do. Because they've done, like, I'd never heard of half the people they were talking about in the game, but then you find out afterwards with a quick Wikipedia search, I was like, oh, it's pretty accurate actually. These guys know their shit. What's the thing as well that hurts Baldur?
Mistletoe, wasn't it?
It was mistletoe, wasn't it? Yeah, I was like, I know it's a fucking green plant of some kind, and I couldn't think of the name of it again. It's like they got that, like they're fucking really.
Yeah, that's genius. I love shit like that.
It's so cool.
How it was interwoven into the story was good. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really cool, and he was great. Very interesting casting choice, I thought.
Yeah.
That guy has an interesting voice and interesting like delivery of certain things, but like, I would never look at that actor and think, yeah, he's a Norse god. You know what I mean? And yes, he was very, very interesting as that character who like wanted to die and couldn't. Like, I was just really fucking interested. Are there any other games on the horizon, other than Horizon and some of the other ones that we mentioned, that were on your radar that you'd like to hear more about or more of in the near future?
I think I could think of like, I'm kind of expecting there to be like newer IPs coming out rather than just sequels.
Yeah.
You know, what exactly has Sony got planned with all this stuff? Perhaps, I know that the Ghost of Tsushima just kind of came out, but I'm kind of hungry for more of it. So
yeah, hell yeah.
Someone actually was saying, I think it was on Twitter, where they would like to, they're saying it should be called Ghost of Tsushima.
Wow. Why is everything you're saying blowing my fucking mind? That's not as good an idea as it sounds.
It looks cooler written down, I have to say.
Yeah, it does. But it's probably a butchering of the pronunciation as well. It's like, it's actually not Tsushima. That's not.
Yeah. Two
Eric,
Shimas. What happened to one Shima?
Yeah, what the hell? Eric, any other games on your radar that we haven't brought up?
Ratchet and Clank. I don't think they've shown enough of that at all.
No, you know what? No, fuck you. They have. But listen, shut the fuck up. Now, that one actually is fair enough. You know what? You just reminded me. April's State of Play actually gets a round of applause. Never mind. Fucking brilliant. It's the first State of Play since State of Plays began in the origins of State of Play without Deathloop. Hey!
Oh, wow, yes.
Oh, yeah.
No Deathloop.
No fucking Deathloop. I don't know if people told them to stop spawning us or what. No, that's still coming. Is that on your radar?
What,
Deathloop?
No. They have looped me to death with those trailers.
Actually, I'm pretty interested to see the next like kind of update. Like, what's the work that they've done to Halo Infinite? Although I have no way of playing it just yet, but I am really interested to see.
How come we haven't heard of that?
What work have you done?
That's a good shout. I would be very interested to see what, like, of the kind of criticism that they got, like, how much of it did they take on board, and what did they improve? Like, is it just going to be graphics, or is there other stuff where they're like, you know what, if people feel like this is like same old, maybe we actually need to add in extra features too, or extra things that's going to shake this thing up. I know there was a bit of excitement about like the grappling gun, which will be I'm like, the exciting thing about the grappling gun is not that there is one. It's not just that. It's what does that do to level design? If you have that as a function or as a feature, then it means levels are built in a certain way where your path might not be linear, and maybe there's multiple ways to go about a mission. Yeah. So that's exciting when you think about the possibilities of gameplay. But I wonder if there's like other features that they're like, we need to bulk this up with more stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of actually surprised that I haven't heard more about that. And they haven't actually given a release date, have they? Since they said, oh, it's been delayed.
No, it's supposed to be just 21.
It's 21 again. Yeah, same thing. I do think that will come this year, actually.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That one will come this year. And I'd be excited to see a trailer from it. Another game I'd like to see, and it's another one that's in the rumor mill, not confirmed, but I would be excited to see something of Silent Hill. I was never a Silent Hill fan growing up. I'm not like a horror gameplay guy anyway, but PT was just too interesting and too exciting that ever since then I've been hungry to see what they might do with Silent Hill. And
that with haptic feedback, holy shit! You won't feel your.
I think the 3D audio is going to be the thing that's.
You will feel the enemy's footsteps vibrating through the steel floor, and you'll be like, I don't know where the fuck they are.
Yeah, the 3D audio for sure would be probably hugely impressive. It'd be one of those games where it's like, oh, I'm so buying that, and then you buy it, and then you play about 10 minutes of it, and you go, no! And it sits there for years, and you go, that was great.
And the only thing you did was put a key into a car. Like, this is too scary.
Oh, no, not doing it. Yeah,
I don't want to go to Silent Hill.
But I'm curious because, look, there's no way Silent Hill is left dead in the water. Like, something will come of it at some point. I'm curious whether it's going to be a remake is the first thing we'll see, or a new game. I'm curious which one they will opt for. Will they go, let's play this safe and put out a remake of a classic one that's going to excite people? Or will we just go for it and make a new game and see if anyone's like, no, fuck you fired Kojima. You know?
Yeah.
Or will they bring Kojima back?
Will Konami come back as a fucking game company? Like,
Konami need to do, I think I said this before, but they need to do a showcase themselves and announce Metal Gear Solid Remake, a new Silent Hill game, and a new Castlevania game.
Yes.
And those three things would put them on the map in such a way that they would just fucking steal the show.
Pretty good, right?
So do that, Konami, in memory of
and all three of them would be like exclusive to each platform.
Oh fuck! Can you imagine? Like, now I have to buy all of these. Which one's exclusive to which, though?
What did you say again? So you said Silent Hill, Castlevania, and
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid. Fucking hell.
Castlevania is exclusive to the Switch.
Yes.
After that, then you're just making everyone mad. Silent Hill and then just both started on the PlayStation. Don't you dare.
Yeah.
You like cross-platform, fine, but don't you dare make either of them exclusive to anything.
Well, if it's a new game,
if it's a new Silent Hill,
no, if it's a new Metal Gear, Xbox can have it. Just take it.
Adam, you can't say that. Come on, it might be. What if it's a Metal Gear Survive Part 2?
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Anyway, I'd love to hear what other people have on the radar in terms of games. I'm sure there's loads that we haven't mentioned, or people might have seen games, full 17-minute videos of games that aren't coming out for another 10 years. What is going on?
Where's Breath of the Wild 2?
That's another one. Yeah. Was that not shown in 2016 as well or something? Anyway, if you've been watching this on YouTube, be sure to jump into the comments. Let us know your thoughts on any of the games we brought up and stuff you hope to see from them and when you think they're going to come out. And also let us know about any other games that you have on your radar that you're looking forward to that we didn't bring up, and tell us all about them. We might not know about them, so even like link us a trailer or something so we can check it out for ourselves. It might be something that we're interested in too. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click that notification bell. If you listen to us on audio platforms, you can get in touch with social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to let us know all your thoughts on the games we mentioned and your thoughts on other games that we have not mentioned. You can also follow us, whether you're listening to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you like to listen to us. I'd also like to let you know that I'm featured on another podcast. I'm cheating with my brother from another mother, Mr. Danny Cunningham, who was featured on one of our episodes before where we talked about Snake Eater, and it's called The Plot Heads. We talk about movies and TV shows. So that should be out by now, so do go check that out as well. Would very much appreciate that. And do let us know any other game topics you would like to hear us talk about. That's us for this evening. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.